welcome to the On Tomatoes channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the MAC Mineralize Satin Finish Foundation. And this foundation was actually my first liquid foundation ever. When I first started out with makeup, I primarily used mineral makeup. I used everyday mineral, but I remember that I wanted something that I could use for special occasions, something with a lot more coverage, so that I can use it for special occasion like wedding, going out with friends, clubbing, etc. So I remember that I wanted liquid foundation. And I've heard a lot of people using the MAC Studio Fix Fluid and that it was a full coverage foundation. So I went to the counter, intended to buy that, but then the sales associate talked me into different foundation, and she swatched two different foundation on my face, Studio Fix Fluid and MAC Mineralized Satin Finish, and for some reason I liked how this looked more. And so I bought it. It was a little bit more pricey and it has a pump. After I bought this home, I would have to say that I was very disappointed. It was very thick. It has a very thick gel consistency. I found that it was very hard to blend. I used a brush and it was very streaky. And so I just left it in the corner for a long while and I didn't even bother using it until one day I happened to use my fingers to blend it out and I fell in love with it. There's just something about the warmth of your fingers that really help blend this foundation. You can either use your fingers or use a wet sponge. I can't explain how important it is that you have to wet your sponge. It also gives you more coverage too when you use a damp sponge. Overall, this foundation has a very satiny finish. In fact, it has chunky glitters in there. So if you're someone who's not very fond of glitters, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this foundation. The glitters would really accentuate unevenness in your skin tones like textures or acne and zits. I wouldn't recommend it for people with problematic skin. But if you have decent skin and you just have issue with uneven skin tone, and if you have dry skin, I think that this foundation can do wonders because it gives you such a natural and radiant and very satiny and dewy finish. So I really like it when I use my fingers to apply it. But I wouldn't recommend it for people with oily skin. And there's a specific way that I like to set this foundation. I use my Maybelline Dream Matte powder to set this liquid foundation. I actually wouldn't even call this a liquid foundation. It's more of a gel consistency foundation because when you squeeze it out, it doesn't even run down your finger. It's just very, very thick. Just use a sponge that come with the mattifying powder, and I just dab it onto the mattifying powder, and I dab this to set the foundation. Instead of using a brush and swirl it all over your face, use the applicator that comes with the powder and dab it on your face, and it really helps fill in all the pores and really gives it a little bit more coverage, and it just looks so much better. I would even recommend using a primer before applying this foundation so it can help blend this foundation better. It's a thick foundation that using it on bare skin can make it look a little bit streaky even when you use your fingers. But if you have a primer before applying the foundation, I think that it helps the blending a lot better. I think this foundation is actually pretty good for everyday use. It has very light to medium coverage, like barely medium coverage. But I wouldn't even call it a medium or full coverage foundation because to me it's more like a tinted moisturizer but a little bit more coverage. And I find that this foundation doesn't last all day. I think it lasts up to 5 hours, but after that I can't even tell if I have foundation on. So that's my review on the MAC Mineralized Satin Finish Foundation. If you have any other questions, you can leave in the comments bar below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Other than that, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!